Like such a long, long time when I dug beneath the radar and I'd sneak across the line. I'd stop up in St. Albans and up to Montreal, where I'd make pretend I didn't know what was being bought or sold. But I met a lot of strange folks in this dirty game. And one was so evil, I won't even say her name. Well, she had me from the first time around, and she held me so sweetly as she pinned me down. And it felt so real, it felt so right. All we ever did was eat and drink and fucking fight. Well, the deal got thin, she turned me in. Beneath the radar, and I was on that road again. I'm strong of muscle, a strong will, but I'm weak in the heart. Way up on top of the hill, we're up there, one crew for miles around. Noble is the man who walks back down. And the road is rough, it's hard to see. Got to slow down the pace, have some faith in a destiny. Hear them voices, they're calling me. Songs of wingless angels in unbridled clarity. To my crown of thorns, and I stumbled back down off the hill with the cross that I was home. Now and then I drift back in time, and I think about the love and lust that I left behind, because it's goodbye done, goodbye road, and go to that virgin land where I've been on. I hear them voices calling me among some wingless angels in perfect harmony. We've been writing some music in the last few months. I'd like to share some with you, but this next song is a dance number. That means you gotta come on. It's one of our new dance numbers. It's called Sugar Cane. Pronounced correctly, it's Sugar Cane.
was definitely, yeah, it was preconceived. It was definitely, I set out to make a concept record. I didn't know exactly how it would sound, but I knew that I wanted to harken back to the days of, you know, when you got that double album at the record store, and you came home and sat in your beanbag chair and got out the lava lamp and the headphones, and have it be that kind of experience where you'd look through the liner notes and read the lyrics and kind of be absorbed in the record and listen to it from start to finish. Something that's, you know, doesn't really happen these days. So, you know, I wanted to kind of bring that vibe back. So that's what I set out to do. And you know, in the course of a few years, I just started writing, and it turned out that everything just kind of fell into place. It's got some voyeuresque qualities, if that's the right word. I could get in even more into detail about this, but a lot of the songs have that kind of looking out theme going on. I think being in Vermont, we kind of, or at least personally, I feel like I'm kind of in a little bubble in Vermont, looking out at the rest of society, or the rest of the country, I should say, because Vermont is so different. And so it's got that perspective. One of the songs is the perspective of actually an alien scientist who's like looking at the Earth, and you know, as like the Earth is like a petri dish or something, like we're some kind of experiment, which is a kind of a weird theory, but nonetheless it is a theory that's out there. But for me personally, it was like looking out and just trying to catch a glimpse of what's going on right now in our world.
lights went out, New Year's Day, and those beside him tried to say, I've seen them drink and eat and pray till there's nothing left to say. They called the undertaker on the seaside of town. He said it would be too cold to put him in the ground. Guess we'll have to wait until spring. The big brass band plays. So the spring never came, nor did the rain. Notify the underworld of the latest tragedy. Is there room for lost souls? Coming through in stereo, and the big brass band plays. All the rivers goes away, all the trees goes away, carving creatures goes away, goes away. for the best of our five. Maybe I'm crazy, just out of phase with the nature of parallel life. Parallel life. Once I met a girl from a far off land. His tongue was as quick as a gypsy's hands. She tried to take my heart from the thunder in my hand. Her words were like weapons, I had no defense. Many months later I was walking around, looking for the place where my heart might be found. Rolling on lightning, chill of the night, seems she'd taken it out for a joyride. So I went to see the man who was dressed all in white. Told me I might need to start a new life. I said, you're just a figment, vision, thought. He said, you're correct. He gave me back my heart, but that heart it once was. It ticked like a time bomb, ready to go off. I tried to put it back underneath my head, but it just exploded. You just can't predict. Pangs of hunger start to bite me, food for knowledge start to ride me. When darkness dulls your sense of wonder, and distant red blows to distant thunder, and the song that you sing starts to come true. May your dreams have mercy on you. May your dreams have mercy on you. May your dreams have mercy on you, may your dreams have mercy on you, may your dreams have mercy on you.
I moved up here, right? I moved up here because I wanted to get out of the city. I wanted to be close to nature. Plus, I had, some children, that I'd rather raise kids up here than in the city. It just seemed like the thing to do. I was able to buy a small little cabin that I could afford, and it just started in building a studio and writing stuff, and You know, I really think that Vermont is conducive to the way that I'm writing songs right now. Yeah, and I couldn't be happier living here. Always. I guess I started writing a little bit when I was in junior high school. Just kind of corny, stupid songs for a high school band. It were mostly covers, but we threw a couple originals in there. Then I joined a touring. I went to art school and joined a touring band. Came up with this, and I was writing just musical parts for this band because we had a singer who was also a lyricist. And I would, we'd all get together in the room and we'd kind of jam and play and write that way as a group. We were around for a number of years and we toured extensively. It wasn't until that group disbanded that I started getting more into writing lyrics, and but then writing in the room with a group. And then when that band disbanded, I found myself on my own, and then I started really digging in deep to what was going on with actual songwriting and composing. And that was probably didn't start till I was in my late 20s, mid 20s. But I was always writing music, I was always fooling around, coming up with guitar parts and stuff. Tweed River, that is the best little blowout of the summer. It's a festival for people who don't really dig festivals, but it's a labor of love. And it started out, pretty much as a picking party on my deck when I first moved up to this area 14 years ago. I came up from Boston, and I knew a lot of folk down there who like to pick on mandolins and guitars and banjos and such. And so to get out of the city, they'd all come up on 4th of July in the summertime. We'd sit out on the deck, and they started getting bigger and bigger. Got to the point where my deck was not going to accommodate it, and so we moved it to someone else's deck. And then we moved it to someone else's field, and then someone else's field, and then my wife and I decided to get married after about 8 or 9 years of being together, and so we had a big blowout on top of up in the hill, and that got pretty big. It was like a big rock concert, and we were like, what, we should go public with this. So we hunted around for location, and we found one, and so here we are. We've been doing this publicly for 5 years now. And we get mostly independent, unsigned bands, but they all have some sort of degree of separation to the people who have started it, those picking parties. It kind of all goes back to those parties, so this thing has a total family reunion vibe to it, and an extremely diverse one too. I mean, we have metal music, we have singer-songwriter stuff, we have bluegrass, we have blues, we have whatever we are, progressive mountain music. We also have puppet shows for the kids. We have a great swimming hole. We have artists doing their stuff. We had fire dancers last year, a fire organ, which was really cool. It's really family friendly, but it's also a blowout, And so people, should come down to the Tweed if they and we're easy to find. You just Google Tweed River Music Festival and find the website, or go to Thayer.com and find. Easy to find, right up there in Stockbridge, Vermont.
Together in unison, when
folks should get out there and support the local music and support music in general. It's getting to be, live music is becoming in a way a dying art. What with so much entertainment and internet service, it's kind of, the live music is I don't think it will ever fully go away, but it's making it for a lot of people a struggle. But at the same time, it couldn't be a more exciting time to promote yourself and be a do-it-yourself kind of person and get the word out. But even though there's a lot of music out there, a lot more music out there than there was 10, 20 years ago, doesn't mean the music's better. But you gotta dig a little bit, dig deep, take chances. I would ask people to take chances and try out that group that someone suggested to you. Don't just go with what people are feeding you. Go with what some of your friends are suggesting. We're at a time now where the record companies and the media isn't the only people we can go to for an avenue to new music. There's many, many different avenues, and people should take the time and search around and find all the quality stuff that's out there, because it is out there. It's out there. So go find it.
Like quality stuff like both Thayer.
Sure. Come find me.
Seems like such a long, long time when I dug beneath the radar and I'd sneak across the line. I'd stop up in St. Albert's and up to Montreal, where I'd make pretend I didn't know what was being bought or sold.